The issue of companies failing to file workers' taxes is back in the spotlight, and we wanted to take a closer look at the specific roles and responsibilities of all the parties involved. To help us better understand what happens in the accounts department is Chief Corporate Communications Officer at the Tax Administration Jamaica, Maris Horton. Good morning, Maris.
Good
Welcome to
morning,
Smile
Miss
Jamaica. It's
Julia.
morning time.
Yes, thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, trying to keep myself safe.
All right, so let's start by outlining the process. How do employers file taxes on behalf of their workers?
Well, the filing the taxes on behalf of the workers is done on a monthly basis by employers. It's what we call a monthly deduction remittance form, which is a S01. So that's for persons who are actually employed during a given month. I think though the question or the discussions are around the persons who have been laid off, and there's another obligation that an employer has once somebody has been separated from their employment, which is what is called a P45. And what is a P45? It's actually a certificate issued by an employer to the employee, as well as that goes to the tax department. And it actually provides details of the employee's earnings during the period for any calendar year. So earnings, any tax deducted, any statutory deductions that would have had, any superannuation, any perks, all of that information would go on the P45 to demonstrate that the person is no longer in the employ of that employer.
All right, so okay, we jumped. I was going to get there, but I wanted to explain the general process first. So the
Sure. No.
P45, I leave. I want to get the P45. What's the process? Because what we've been hearing is people are turning up. They're hearing that no taxes were filed for you. No, we don't know where that went. And so I want to clarify: if I'm leaving a company, even if I'm still there and I'm asked to file taxes, how do I access this information, this P45?
Okay, so the P45 is the document that is given to the employee.
Right.
Parts are given to the employee. However, the employer must submit that to TAJ electronically.
Oh.
So the employer has to submit that to the TAJ electronically. So that is the crux of the matter. And whereas the SO1, which is the deductions once you're employed, that's done, and there's a due date on that. A P45 doesn't have a due date because understand that different persons are separated at different times. So the P45 is the form that will be used once the person is separated, then the P45 is done for that individual. In this period, however, where you may have significant numbers being separated at any one time, which is one of the reasons actually why we have indicated that it must be done electronically. And let's be fair, all other payroll matters are done electronically. So for the past few years, the monthly payroll deductions, remittances, those are done electronically. Your annual returns that employers do, they're done electronically. So there's already a platform in which the employers are familiar with that they will be doing this. So with the P45, with so many persons now being separated at a given time, it would be a little overwhelming to have those being submitted on a manual basis. So what we have indicated is that this form, and it's actually now legislated that the form must be submitted electronically through the same platform that they have been working with to do the other payroll activities.
How
So
how
a new form. It's a new form. It has been revised, and it has been revised in order to satisfy the We Care program. So it's fairly new. It was actually rolled out on April 9, which I think too is the same date that the We Care program, the platform was opened. So there has been some what we call some timing issues. So you may have had an employee who was separated and they went on April 9th and did their submission, their filing, or their application, I should say. But at the same time, the employer may not, at that time, had submitted their P45. So when the system did the validation, and it's really just a validation from the WeCare platform, pulling from the Tax Administration Jamaica's platform to validate certain things like, do these persons appear on a payroll, or is there a P45 for these persons, or I think one of the criteria also is that the persons must be receiving 1.5 million or less. So all of these things are things that would be validated through Tax Administration Jamaica's portal. So there
Okay.
may be a tendency, as I said. So when they did the run, you may have that a P45 was not yet in place for that particular employer. But it's not one occasion that that run will be done. It will be done frequently, and once that is done, then it will be picked up once that is the case.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Ms. Horton. I think it's important for employees to call their employers and demand their P45 forms if they're still having challenges. We've been hearing about different employees from different organizations who have not been able to receive the We Care package. So hopefully those kinks will be ironed out very soon. However, what are some of the teething pains you're having at the Tax Administration of Jamaica? Because, I mean, there are a lot of transactions that need to happen. Cars need to be registered. What are your teething pains, and how are you ironing it out for the public?
Oh, you're looking at other things now.
Yes,
But,
I sure am, because there's so many.
Sure. Not a problem.
All
Not
right.
a problem. So in terms of the other things, TAJ has always been at the forefront of doing things electronically. And we are actually looking to widen our scope of things that are available online. And this COVID pandemic has actually forced us to speed up that process. So currently we have a number of things that persons can do online, and we're encouraging persons to use the online platform to do these transactions. So currently we have things like we have property tax that can be paid online. Your certificate of fitness fees, you can pay that online. Your traffic tickets, you can pay online. There are a number of things. If you're a business person, all your business transactions can be done online, including getting a tax compliance certificate. So all these things are available online. What we're working on now as a team is looking at putting driver's license payment as well as motor vehicle registration certificate online. But certainly when we look at the scope of what we already have, of the top 10 services that persons would be doing at a tax office, 9 of them are already online.
Okay.
The main one outside of that would be motor vehicle registration. So we're putting a lot of emphasis in trying to fast track that to make that available online.
Okay, so
And
it's not yet ready for motor vehicle registration.
not yet ready. So motor vehicle registration nor driver's license is ready.
So if the police pull me up, am I okay? Because I may be over 75, I'm not able to leave home, my car is not registered because of the COVID-19 challenges and social distancing, physical distancing. Am I going to be okay, or will the law still hold me?
Well, that's another matter. That's the legal side of things.
Yeah.
What I would ask though for persons in that situation, somebody can actually do the registration for you. And I know that already there are a number of persons who use other person or ask other persons to do these transactions for them. So this is what I'm going to be recommending to persons until we get to the stage where it's available online. And as I said, there's a team that is actually actively working on that project. As a matter of fact, I have a meeting on that at 10 today where we are looking at that. And what I'm going to be saying to, I may be taking tails out of school here, but we're going to be coming to the public shortly to get some information from them. Because in terms of the motor vehicle registration, for example, because there's a document that you also must get, it's not just a matter of payment. We are going to be looking at different options in terms of how can that get to you. One of the options that we're going to be looking at is in terms of doing that through courier. but then we would have to ask for persons to pay for that courier service in addition to paying for the motor vehicle registration. So we're going to be doing a survey to find out what person would be willing to pay before we make the final decision in terms of how we roll that out.
All right, Maris, thank you so much. Not just for speaking with us this morning, but for always forwarding information that we can share to the public about what's happening with Tax Administration Jamaica. Maris Horton, Chief Corporate Communications Officer at the Tax Administration Jamaica on payroll taxes and what we should be expecting from our employers. Coming up, tips on how you can set up your home space for video conferencing. You don't want to miss that. And the Pembroke Hall Blueprint Steel Band, though, will take us to the break. Here's some more music.